Hey guys, we are now at the point in the build where we have around 4 or 5 jobs all running simultaneously. So in this video I'm going to be talking about doing the ceiling, and yeah, so we'll just go with that. I will do a separate video for installing the roof vent though. So far on the ceiling all I've done is added some thin foam insulation, the same stuff that I put on some of the wall areas. This is 5mm soft foam with it has paper on the back, it is sticky backed, and it is silver reflecting on one side. Originally I wasn't going to put this on the ceiling, but I was getting condensation in here and water gathering and dripping, so it is doing a really good job of keeping the condensation down in the ceiling roof area, whatever you want to call it. So there will be more insulation going in here, and I have made some like pillowcases to fit the wool insulation in to hold up into the roof area so there isn't fibres dropping everywhere when we're doing the ceiling. So today we are installing the, I don't know what you want to call them, roof joists, roof ribs, onto the ceiling. If I just raise the camera a wee bit, you can see we have these metal ribs on the van. There is 3 kind of in the centre, one at the, well, there is the bulkhead at the front, or where the bulkhead was, where the headliner joins, and there is the back where the back doors are. So we're using 2x1 wood. This is just what we would call lats in the UK, and we're going to be making roof ribs to go alongside. Get myself sorted, I'm looking at the wrong rib. These metal ribs. So the wood will actually attach onto the side of the rib like that, but before we can attach them up we need to shape them. The roof does have a slight curve to it, so we'll be curving the top edge to suit, and then these are not flat, these have got high and low spots, so we'll be curving the underneath edge to suit the high spots of these as well, and then these will be fastened onto the sides of the metal ribs, and then my tongue and groove boarding can fasten onto the bottom of these, I guess what you would call roof joists. So first of all we've got some cardboard, and we have actually made the first one already because it's just easy to do that off camera whilst it takes lots of faffing around and what have you and figuring out the best way. So I'm explaining now what we have done. So I have a piece of cardboard here, and what was done with this is a centre point was marked. Which beam is it on? The furthest away from the camera, I can't get the camera to it. So imagine there is a centre pencil line on this roof rib. Then the piece of cardboard was placed on here at the centre point and pushed up and shaped to fit this arc. I have some spare cardboard here, so here, and then pushed up and shaped to fit the curve of the roof. See how it's kind of squished over, and then this was drawn nice and neat and then cut out to create a slightly arced piece of cardboard. And then we got a piece of the 2x1 batten and made it to the right length for the roof, and then put the template on at the centre point of the batten and marked the curve, and then flipped it over and did the same. So we now have a batten that fits to the outside curve of the roof. I will show a video of this in a moment, but I'm just explaining what we've done. And then when that's in place, we're able to draw, when that's in place, we're able to mark the high spots on the beam and then draw a nice smooth curve to fit. There's also some notches to cut out at the far ends. So we'll take you down the workshop and show you what we have so far. So this is the first one that has been made. As you can see, there's not an actual lot of wood left once you've cut out the top and the bottom of the arch. This is the centre line where we marked the cardboard template from for the top arch, and you can see where we notched out at the end for the sides of the van, and the nice gentle curve for the bottom arch as well. So this first one can now be used as a template for the other two that go in the centre, and then new templates will have to be made for the front and back of the van. We are back to working on the roof today. We have about 6 jobs on the go, and each of them is all weather dependent and materials being here dependent and so on. So we're kind of dry fitting the roof today, and because we are waiting on a timber delivery. Don't know when it's going to be because the timber merchant, Allens of Gillicks, they don't have a delivery driver currently, so who knows when that's going to arrive. So I'll show you what we're doing. So at the front of the van here, we're going to be fitting a piece of wood that goes all the way along the front of the headliner and will be shaped at the ends. We did make a temporary piece out of a piece of floorboard to kind of see how it will fit up there, but this is not the thickness of the wood we're going to be using. So the wood we'll be using is a piece of 6x1, or kind of the metric equivalent of what we get in the UK, so it's actually 20mm, I think. This is an offcut from a previous project, so we've just put this up as a temporary measure to show where it'll fit for how these floorboards are going to fit against it. So this will be here, and then a piece of wood will be at the top that these pieces of tongue groove will screw to. So this is kind of just clamped up at the moment to get sizes. Now if I turn you to the back, at this end, these two pieces have been cut around for the roof vent. So we've just got that to fit now. So we need now to cut the rest of the boards to fit the rest of the roof. And it will slightly curve down at the edges, just following these wooden ribs that we've added in. And then these can be taken down and finished, ready for going back up again. So I've gone back and forth on what I'm going to do with the roof. Originally I was going to have stained wood on the ceiling, and I've decided instead that I'm going to sand these, and then I'm going to wipe on, wipe off with white, the cat is moving the tripod, with white eggshell paint. Just one coat of that to give kind of a whitewashed effect, and then I will put a coat of matte, I think it's matte varnish over the top to seal it. John has found that this eggshell we've been using in the sun lounge, it marks quite easily, so I will give it a coat of varnish to stop the white paint from getting marked. And then once all they're done, they can be, here's Willow, dry fit so they're out of the way, and when we get this wood we can take them all back down again and fasten them up properly. Also, I don't have the screws ordered yet that I'm going to be using for this. I'm going to get some I can't remember what type of screws they're called. I will put it up on the screen, but they're quite a wide head, they're quite flat, they're not a dome, they're very much more of a flat head, and I've got them on order, and I will order them in a white coated finish to match the ceiling as well. So we've dry fit half the van. There's still the last piece to fit at this far edge, and we've just got these propped up at the moment and clamped up at one side. Holes have been cut for the lights to go in afterwards, and yeah, it's looking good so far. So once this edge piece has been cut and shaped to fit, these will probably all come down. They're just held up at the moment by this little prop and board, and then work on the second half, and then these can start to be painted and, well, sanded and painted and varnished. John has made the piece of wood that goes behind the headliner. He's had to make it an unusual shape, not just at the ends to fit the shape of the headliner, but also on the back edge it is chamfered. You can't see it very well on that, but on the original template you can see the top edge is much thinner than the bottom edge, because the metal roof rib that he's attaching this to is a strange shape. It's like a triangular shape, and it has been painted black on the cab side where you'll kind of see it if you're looking through the front window screen, and I will have blackout curtains attached to this bottom edge. Most of this won't be seen, it's actually attached to the van. It's just this bottom edge that you'll actually see, and on the back of the van in the camper side it has been painted white to match the roof, not to the top again because it'll be hidden by the roof. So we've screwed the headliner cover up first, and then the final roof rib, wooden roof rib that we'll be attaching the tongue and groove boarding to, has been screwed onto it afterwards and levelled off with the ones behind it. With the last of my wool insulation, I made like little pillowcases out of the bed cushions, the foam that I had when I converted my Mini Cooper into a car camper. So I just took all the covers off the foam pads which I had made, and I've just repurposed them. They don't fit the insulation or the roof very well, but it doesn't matter because once the roof's up, we just kind of tuck it all in and squash it into place. And I've just kind of temporarily held them up with strings lashed across the roof, although it isn't working very well in some places because the way I strung the strings, but it'll do, and then we can get this roof in place. For holding up the ceiling, I bought these screws. These are wafer head screws, and they are powder coated from a company that does RAL coloured head screws, so that you can have them to the colour that you want and just get them powder coated. So I have white ones for my ceiling, I have light green ones for the green panelling, and I also have some bronze coloured ones for my tongue and groove panels, which will be going on the tops of my doors. I will of course link where I got this from. Okay, so that's the roof, the ceiling completed finally. All the screws are up. There's just a couple of little bits of paintwork that need touching up, and I have trimmed the headliner back to accommodate the new piece of wood that covers the back of the headliner. I'm pretty pleased with it. It's took a while, and it's took some figuring out, but we've managed to get there, and now I've been able to finish off putting in the roof lights and the fan, but they'll be coming on the electrics video. And yeah, really pleased with it. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.